Welcome to another episode of the Zebra Influencer Series. I'm your host, Scott Reyes, Senior ISV Manager for North America Alliances and ISVs. I have the distinct honor of working with our alliances and software vendors and helping them work through the ecosystem at Zebra Technologies. In today's episode, we're going to have a guest speaker who has over 30 years in the AIDC industry, has worked previously at Symbol and Motorola, and is currently now the Chief Marketing Officer for one of our ISVs, Almasons. Barry, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Scott. Good to be here with you.
Same here, Barry. Nice to see you again. Hey, so Barry, a lot of the times the audience wants to know a little bit about you and our guests. Maybe something different that you wouldn't find on LinkedIn. Is there anything that you can share with the audience about that before we get into the technical discussions around Almasons?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So, like you said, I've been in the industry forever. Started with Symbol, Motorola, and I was with Zebra after the acquisition for about a year. In between building mobile devices, I'm an amateur woodworker. So I like to do things like turn bowls and build boxes. And if the call goes well, I'll send one your way, Scott. So
the call always goes well, and that's awesome. That's awesome to know. I didn't know you were a woodworker. That's amazing.
I have
takes a lot of
for those of you the Bob Vila shrine in the garage. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I used to watch Bob Vila. It's awesome.
I still have all my fingers, so I must be doing it right.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about how your fingers work at Almasons. I know as a chief marketing officer, you must be typing up case studies all the time. Tell us a little bit more about Almasons and what you guys do in the market.
Yeah, Almasons an interesting company. It's a software company that specializes in supply chain automation technologies and solutions. We are a Zebra ISV. Our particular area of focus that we'll talk about today is voice picking. Voice picking's been around a lot of years, but there's a lot of new exciting aspects to it that make it very relevant today. And so Almasons has a lot of expertise in SAP, WMS, and ERP, but we have integrated to every major supplier of WMS, Manhattan, Blue Yonder, Infor, various ERP, TMS, transportation management systems, and CRM systems. And so we've got a way to connect those systems together very quickly and easily. Our whole logo, the Almasons, we make it easy. We make IT easy is our slogan. And so we're able to work with a customer, define ways they want to improve their warehouse operations, create that statement of work, and get it up and rolling in about 30 days, which is very surprising to most customers. Like I said, today we'll probably focus on the voice picking aspect of what we do.
Yeah, Barry. So let's talk a little bit about that. My experience with voice picking is, as you pointed out, it's been around a while, right? It's not new technology in that aspect. So some of our customers have said, why would I go with voice picking? Maybe you can help us understand and the audience understand what's new about voice picking this day and age, and what are you guys bringing to the market that's different?
Great. So, just to set that context, voice picking showed up on the scene 25 years ago and has been used and is currently being used by well over 1 million pickers in the U.S. At some of the biggest distribution centers on the planet because it works. Now, that's a good thing. When you look at the way voice picking operates, because the operators are hands-free and eyes up, they're not fumbling around with mobile devices in their hand. Not only are they quicker, typically 25 to 30% faster picking than, barcode scanning. It is more accurate because you do not have to keep changing your view from looking at your device to looking at the bin to looking at your device, etc. So I call that attention switching. That's where a lot of errors occur. I scan the right box, I look at the quantity to pick, and I put my hand in another box. And then finally, it's safer. If you've got your hands free and your eyes are up, you're less likely to kick a pallet or a rack or get knocked over by a forklift tine while you're walking around a warehouse. And so faster, better, safer is the watchword. Now, what's really interesting, why voice is still relevant and new, is because of Android and because of the change in what's happening in the industry. Previously, if you wanted to do voice picking, you had to go to a very limited number of vendors and buy a purpose-built device, which ran an unusual operating system in a very closed environment. And that physical device did one thing, voice picking. Now I can take something as small and lightweight as your WS50. This is the CPU, as you know, from the WS50. Pop the battery onto it, throw it into this ring scanner, and I now have a voice processor in my hand. Our software, which we call Amason Genie Voice, has been validated by Zebra to run on the WS50. So this all-in-one barcode scanning device took the place of that large, bulky, proprietary device you have to wear on your hip. So voice now becomes another application on an Android device. The big benefit to the customer is choice. I can now go to any major vendor of mobile devices, although you probably want Zebra since you are the leader and have the best product line, and you've got freedom. There you go. Amen. Huh? Is that what you wanted me to say? You've got pricing power as a customer. You've got choice on the form factor. You can run it on a device like this, run it on something like a TC53, run it on a traditional gun. In fact, if you've got an Android device today, you can load our software on that device, put it on your hip, pop on a Zebra noise canceling headset, and you're in the voice business. And so a lot of customers have come to us that are traditional users of that earlier generation technology, that closed, proprietary, costly solution, and have said, I have that today and I want Android, because they like the manageability of that platform, the openness of it, and the choice that our options give them. So some of the biggest customers on the planet came to us, for example, at Modex, where we were showing the WS50 in our software in 2022. We'll be showing it again at ProMat. In fact, our software will be running on your product bar at ProMat, as well as among our partner community. And so we know a lot of customers are quite excited about the fact that they now have choice and purchasing power.
So Barry, in that aspect, when we talk about our customers' choice and that they're running Android, and obviously as they run Android, they can run multiple applications on those devices. Like you said, on WS50, you can run voice picking on it. How does that help some of the challenges that they're having as far as like labor challenges? I think labor challenge is one of the biggest things I've heard in all the verticals that we work in. And all the verticals we work in: retail, manufacturing, warehousing, transportation, logistics, even from a healthcare, warehousing, supply chain perspective. Like, how do you guys help those labor challenges and those customers using voice picking?
So first of all, Amason operates and satisfies customers in that entire supply chain, from manufacturing to warehousing to transportation and shipping operations to retail stores, including home delivery. And voice can have a play in any of those areas. Take a good example. In the retail store, buy online, pick up in store is obviously very popular, becoming increasing volumes going that way. And you've got someone that's working a register one moment, and you need them to now become a picker in your store, your mini warehouse, to get the order ready. So again, all they need to do is fire up the Genie application on maybe a device they were already using for reordering or shelf price audit, pop on a Zebra HS3100 headset, and they're now in the buy online, pick up in store business. As you know, when you look at e-commerce, it puts its tentacles into every part of your operation. So if I go on to your .com site and I want to know if you can ship it to my home, or you can have it delivered this afternoon, or I can pick it up in the store, I probably have to touch your WMS, your transportation management system, and maybe even your CRM system to recognize me as a preferred customer so I can calculate shipping cost. And our systems allow you to do that. We're the ones that set those those connections and that plumbing up so that those kind of applications can run smoothly. So voice is a particular area of focus for us, but we also supply that 3-letter acronym connectivity. I often say if it's got 3 letters in IT, we can hook it up. ERP, CRM, TMS, WMS. And then we also hook it up to the technology servers that are required to get the job done. So that might be a voice processing server. It might be an augmented reality headset that's coming. It might be a robotics server. It might be an automated conveyance system. So we have expertise hooking all of those technologies up to the center and making it work as a whole.
So Barry, that's a great point, right? So many times we've had conversations with some of our customers and they're moving away from a do-it-yourself model, meaning they want us, their technology advisors, whether it's our channel partners or Zebra, walking into their situation and saying, here's how it should be built, and here are the connectors and the solutions, software solutions, that would make this workflow excellent. So is that what you guys are doing with the Genie application? Do you guys have all these connectors pre-built to the WMSs and ERPs, or is that like something that you help me understand what you guys are doing in that space?
So that's exactly what we provide, Scott. Our overall offering is called the Almasons Genie platform, and it provides 4 areas of functionality. In the center, it provides the connection to those 3-letter acronyms that we talked about. It does it in a consistent way without hiring an expensive outside consultant. And it allows you to make advancements in your warehouse operations, your picking methodology, et cetera, without modifying the WMS. That's critical. Anytime I need to go in and modify SAP or start integrating with Infor, typically they will ask you to do a big upgrade of their software. You might have to go out and find outside expertise. Our system does away with that. We've got a standardized way of connecting those systems to make it easy. We then either supply the application for, say, voice picking, which we've developed ourselves, or we have a network of reseller partners, many of which are Zebra resellers, the likes of Barcodes or Lowry or Heartland or Decision Point. They've all signed on as resellers with Almasons, and they are the provider of the hardware solution, and we work together to give the customer a complete answer. So there's an ecosystem of partners that we have. We actually have a little over 20 that are signed up at this point, just in the US, and we're recruiting more in Europe. And so we provide them with those tools and the methodology to get those systems set up and have them work very quickly.
So Barry, I just wanted to ask you a quick question now that you mentioned the channel partners. What's the way a customer would gain access to the Genie application? Is that via the channel partners? Would you walk in with them and help them understand how to make those connectors happen? Like, how does the customer get a Genie application running tomorrow?
Yes, we want to work through channel partners. They have the customer relationship. They're probably already selling Zebra equipment, printers, scanners, mobile devices to those customers, either in the store or back in the warehouse or the factory floor. And so we are a channel-centric, channel-friendly organization. We will work alongside those partners. We will educate them enough to understand who are the right prospects for voice. Tends to be people that have maybe 20 pickers or more, maybe 1 to multiple distribution centers. And they're looking for that productivity, safety, speed of training, et cetera. You mentioned earlier the challenge with employees in a warehouse environment in particular. As you've read, most warehouses have a very difficult time even attracting people to work in their warehouse. And then often after a couple of days, it is such a demanding job, they may leave before they really get trained. One of the ways that we help in that situation with voice is very easy to train someone on because it's basically a conversation with the system. System's telling you to go to a particular aisle. You say, I'm there. It tells you a bin number. You read a code digit, a check digit it's called, that's on that bin to make sure you're at the right spot. It tells you how many to pick, and you confirm the actual pick quantity. It might tell you to pick 8. There's only 6 left. You let the system know there's a short situation. So it's a natural language way to do things, which new employees really like because it's easy to get up to speed. It's easy to become productive. I can also do it in my own language, my preferred language. Maybe I speak Spanish or French, or I'm a recent immigrant from Chile. There's a version of Chilean Spanish that we can load on these devices that will make it very comfortable for you to be able to operate. And so when employees are able to get up to speed quickly, they're able to do the job accurately and not get grief from the boss for mispicks. They like it better. And so voice definitely has shown consistently that retention rates go up with employees when you deploy voice, which again is one of the reasons those biggest distribution centers on the planet have been using voice all these years and today.
And Barry, I'm glad you mentioned the training, right? I think one of the things that I've heard in the past and I experienced in the past is that we've had to train the actual application to our voice, so it understands what and how I say the number 5, right, versus the number 4. And I'd have to go through and spend 15 minutes of my day training the solution so that I can move throughout the rest of my day using voice picking. And you're saying that's no longer the case because it's using natural voice to do that. Is that right?
That's exactly the point. Think about how consumer electronics have changed recently. We're now talking to our televisions. We're talking to clocks. We're talking to mobile devices. I'm talking to my watch if I want to set an appointment. Voice processing has become a very well-honed technology that's very accurate out of the box without voice training. So the Almasons Genie platform does not require any voice templates, any specific training for you. Now, for some reason, there's a particular term that your operation uses, or you have a particular one picker that's having real difficulties because of their dialect, you can add some training to it, but most people never require it because the consumer technologies have advanced to the point where it works out of the box. Now, the Almasons Genie platform took that voice technology and actually has it running on the Android device. And so the processor in the WS50 is doing that voice response and recognition, as opposed to something like Siri or Hey Google, which require you to send your voice to the cloud for processing. The big benefit of doing it our way is if I have intermittent Wi-Fi connectivity, or I walk out in the yard where Wi-Fi is not great, or my materials change and I'm in a corner of the DC, I can still be picking with the Almasons Genie platform with on-device recognition and response. So when you start a shift, you will download a set of assignments that might last for the next several hours to this device. You go pick away, do your job. As long as you have Wi-Fi connectivity, it'll keep updating the WMS and keep bringing down additional instructions or assignments, it's called in the picking world. But if you have a disconnection issue for momentarily or for an hour, you can keep picking with the Almasons Genie voice solution.
So Barry, so the question that I'm sure the audience has is, how do I get in touch with Almasons or one of the channel partners if I want to see a demo? How do I go about doing that?
So first of all, our website, Almasons, ALMASONS.com, is full of information about our solutions, the platform, the Almasons Genie voice solution we focused on today. We also have maintenance and inspection applications that are voice driven. We have electronic signature capture for supply chain transactions, as well as an offering. But if you want to learn more about voice, you can go there. You can watch a video of a picker using the voice system to actually hear that back and forth conversation that occurs. And the information is right there on how to reach us. The typical sort of website form fills are there. You can find us on LinkedIn and reach us there. And then depending on your location, and if you already have a Zebra partner that you like doing business with, we can enable that partner to take this opportunity and work it in concert with Almasons. We're not asking the partners to become voice experts. We have those people. We have people that have been in the industry for years. They've done, scores of deployments and understand where the productivity gains can be had. And they will go in concert with the partner to help lay out the statement of work. Then when it comes time to actually deploy the equipment, get the network connection set up, have it work with whatever, printing solutions you need as part of the solution. That's when the partner comes in and puts the complete package together for the customer.
Well, Barry, thank you so much for answering those questions. I love speaking with you because you answered some of the questions before I asked them. So I think that was awesome. The one question I do have for you is there anything you'd like to share with the audience that we haven't asked before we go to the end of the show?
I think one question a lot of people have is, well, isn't robots the thing to use these days in a warehouse? Isn't that where I should be putting my next dollar? And while robotics have a great promise, I'm a big believer in the value of robotics. What we find is that the robotic solutions work great for certain parts of the operation, including picking in many operations. There are all kinds of different robots out there and different methodologies for picking. And so what we've found is that we have many customers that are deploying robotics in a part of their DC using voice in another part. Maybe the robots are being used for the put away and the voice is being used for the pick side, or vice versa. And so there are places where these technologies work together. There are places where they are complementary. I don't think I've seen a distribution center yet that sort of has one answer for how to improve speed, accuracy, and safety. And so that's part of what we can provide. Most of the partners that we're working with are also Fetch resellers. And so they also can come to you independently and give you a sense of, well, we recommend voice would work in this part and maybe Fetch robotics in a second part. So that would be one question that I think a lot of people might have on their mind these days.
Barry, on behalf of Zebra, thank you so much for taking the time out today and sharing your knowledge with us and the audience. And I'd like to tell everyone who's watching us still, thank you very much for your time and your patience and listening to Zebra and to Almasons. Do me a favor, just click like, let us know if you'd like to hear something else. And don't forget to visit the Almasons website to learn more about voice picking. Thank you.